Oh, we're just having a little jiggy in the studio. Linda D on YouTube says, hi, just laughing at myself. Does anyone else have a chair dance to this music? You are not alone. We're always getting our jig on here in the studio. I'm not jigging alone today. Oh no, I've got a partner in jigging crime with me. Jan is back with us. How are you, Jan?
I am fine, thank you. And you're right, we were all stood there jigging along, weren't we? It's like, it just gets addictive after a while. But no, loving being back, Joe. It's been a couple of weeks, month I think, since I was here. But yeah, absolute. And I couldn't, it's a favourite of mine today. Our favourite. The flower forming is something that I love doing, and I love making anything like that involves making your own embellishments. So yeah, we've got a lot to get through this morning. I'm saying this morning, we're into afternoon, aren't we?
It is, it's 1
I
o'clock.
arrived this morning, but
It used to be
afternoon.
morning, didn't it? This show used to be at 11 a.m. That's why we just can't get out of the habit of calling it the morning show.
Yeah.
It is a masterclass, and the masterclasses are all about us looking in depth, going into great detail, teaching you something new. And it's lovely to have Jan with us today because she's an excellent teacher, and I'm really looking forward to her taking us through all of the items that we have in the flower forming range. Now, it's I think we're just gonna take it down a peg. It's Sunday, as Lionel Richie said. It's just gonna be easy like a Sunday morning in here today. We're just gonna take it down a peg or two. We're gonna have a lovely time, and I want you to share your pictures with me because I know so many of you out there absolutely adore our whole flower forming range. If you want to send me your pictures, send me your pictures. You can do that there on the details on the bottom of your screen. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk is where you need to send those pictures into. If you want to have a gossip, you want to have a bit of a chat with me, I love that, especially if the gossip is salacious, if the tea is hot, you can drop into the comments over on Facebook and Crafters TV, or you can pop across to YouTube as well. The tea is piping hot. That is what the kids say, Jan. Have you heard that one?
No, I haven't.
Oh, so tea apparently is gossip.
Right.
And when the gossip's really good, the tea is piping hot.
Oh, I'll have to learn
and
all the
apparently
lingo.
when you're talking about gossip, you are spilling tea.
Oh.
There you go.
Now, it took me long enough to learn the LOL bit, so we're stretching it a bit far there, Joe.
Don't worry. We'll get there. We'll learn together, Jan. It'll be absolutely fine. Loads of people are chatting away already this morning. Miriam's in Michigan. Miriam from Michigan. What a fabulous name. I appreciate that Michigan isn't your name, Miriam, but you get the sentiment. Ellen is in from Pennsylvania. I'm a bit of a strange mood today, I warn you. Liz is in from North Yorkshire. You see Emma in Suffolk, Sharon Lynn in South Carolina, and God's Desire in North Carolina as well. I'm guessing that God's Desire for me isn't your actual Christian name, but is your username on YouTube. I'm guessing that's what it is. Regina's saying she's toe tapping away in Chicago. I love a bit of toe tapping. Sharon said that she made her first try with the foam yesterday. Really glad for the masterclass. Have these sets. Can't wait to see the new dies. And Evelyn says, great to have you back, Jan. You are looking great, isn't she just?
Thank you.
Right, so should I take you through then what we got on the show today? Because it was something that launched a little while back, and my, oh my, it basically broke records with regards to our flower forming collection. So we've got a very similar, slightly more concise collection back for you today, and I'm going to take you through everything you're getting in this bundle. So you've got the foliage, which is this one just here, which is absolutely awesome. Foliage dies in the flower forming have been out of stock for such a long time, so it really is awesome to have them back now as well. So you can see there what you've got, really beautiful. We've also got the holly for you as well in here, which is absolutely awesome. And you're going to get the ivy in here as well, which is absolutely gorgeous. I just got a brand new trailing ivy plant for the apartment, and it is absolutely awesome. I love it. We then are going to move into, we're going super Christmassy with you here. This one here is the poinsettia that you've got, and you can see you've got 5 different dies in here. You've got a lot of dies in this collection. You've got 37 dies total actually in this collection, which is awesome. The next one we've got for you is the autumn leaves. Autumn Leaves was the name of the Belarusian Eurovision entry from 2015, Jan, just in case you were wondering. Just thought I'd squeeze that in there for you.
It doesn't surprise me that you know that, Joe.
Yeah, I can remember it, yeah, I remember it. Of course I remember it. I never forget. We've got this gorgeous one for you here as well, which is upside down. And this is your Christmas rose, which is gorgeous. And then finally, I love this one. I'm so glad that we've done this. Pine cone as well, that's going to be in there, but look at it coloured up in a different way, and you can make something different. I always call pine cones acorns and acorns pine cones. Ooh. I don't know why, Jan. Ooh. And apparently I'm not alone. Apparently that's a thing.
Pine cones are really good at forecasting the weather. Did you know that, Joe?
Are they?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
I can never remember which way around it is, but they open up. I think they open up when it's nice and they close up tight when it's not. Oh. So if your pine cones open the cones out, it means it's going to be a decent day. But if it closes itself up really tight, I think it's that way around, then it's not such a good day, yeah?
Oh.
There you go, you see.
Maybe we need to get some pine cones in the studio and start forecasting the weather.
Yeah.
Now, that's not all you're getting in there, of course. Oh, no, there's loads more for you. You're also going to get the stamens in here. You're going to get 400 of those in the autumn hues. And you're going to get, as well, 12 sheets of the foam also, again, in the autumn hues. If you want to get all of that, it's a great price for you today, £50 or $66. Club Inspired Platinum members can get this for £40 or $52.80. Now there's a load of smaller collections available for you. As we go through the show, I'm going to take you through those as well. But what I'd always suggest you do is get yourself over to the website, www.crafterscompanion.wherever you are. So .co.uk, .com or .eu, and there you'll be able to see all of those deals. Don't forget as well, make sure you keep sending those pictures into me, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. Now, for anyone then that's never seen our flower forming foam before, Jan, what's flower forming foam all about, and what's so special about ours as well?
Oh, now then, that's a good question actually, Joe, because there is a lot of foam out there on the market, but I think our customers that have been with us a while know that our product development team are second to none, and particularly our Leanne that heads up the development team. She will go to the sort of nth degree to make sure that any product that we release is good for the purpose. So you've got the confidence in knowing that whatever we actually release, it's going to do a good job. And I think that makes a big difference, because you're not sort of like, well, shall I, shan't I? Is it going to work? Is it not? We've done all the hard work for you. It's been tested and tested again to make sure that it does what it should do. It says what it does, you know, it does what it says on the tin kind of thing. So you've got that sort of peace of mind that when you're ordering from us at Crafters Companion, you know that those products have been tested and that they are going to do a good job. And I think pretty much with the flower forming, it's one of those things that as a crafter, I mean, I've been crafting, far too many years to mention, probably going on 20 years or so now. It's sort of everything that you make has got some kind of embellishment on it. And I think that's pretty certain of probably 98-99% of what we make, whether it be card making, scrapbooking, whether you're into more of a soft crafts, if you're doing sort of yarn work with knitting or crochet, everything can be embellished. And these are perfect ways to embellish your products. And you can make some stunning results that look, I've had a lot of people say that they look like iced roses that you make for, you know, out of icing for cakes and things like that. And people actually want to come and touch them to see whether they're real or not. And we've got a lovely range in that bundle today, and the thing that I like about them most is that they are designed, so poinsettia is designed to be made in red as a Christmas flower, but you make that flower up in a different colour and it can look totally different. It doesn't have to be literally what it says on the tin. Same as the pine cone. Joe's just showed that board. You know, it makes, we're going to go through all these today. Make the pine cone up, but if make it up in a different colour, it can be a flower. So you've got a real good variety of dyes. How many was there, did you say, Joe?
37 dyes.
37 different dyes and a 4-pack of 400 stamens. So, you know, you've got loads there to get you going. So what we're going to start with, one of my favourites out of this, and it is a favourite flower at Christmas time, is funnily enough not the poinsettia. I love the Christmas rose. And I thought as soon as I got this pack at home to play with, it was, I need to do this one first. So we're going to have a go with that one. We're going to talk you through how to actually do the flowers. If you haven't seen these before, it's sort of a good way of finding out, and this is a brilliant bundle for you to have a sort of a, I say a play with, because I don't consider it as being work. You know, I play with my craft stuff. It's not working anymore. So I've just got the package there. We'll have a look at that for you to see there, Christmas rose, and it's given you an example on the front. And in this one, you get 5 pieces of metal in here. So we've actually got them here. Are the 5 different ones. They're all 3 petal designs on this one. So some of them you'll see I've got 5 petals, 6. This one's a 3 petal design. And I'm actually going to use the 2, well, I'm going to cut the largest one out to show you the shape. And then I've got some that I've cut out already. So amongst your kit, well, I'm saying a kit, extended options today, we've actually got the white foam on the show in another bundle, which I'm sure our Joe's going to tell you about as we go along. So I've just got a little scrap left here. And I'm literally going to cut out my die. Now I know we've been talking a lot this week about the MIDI. We've had the launch of our Gemini MIDI, but I'm going to go back to my little friend today and I'm going to use the Mini, because this one is perfect for sizing. For all the bits that we've got on today, they all fit beautifully just inside that little case for the Mini. So if you haven't come across this before, we'll talk about it a little later on in the show and I'll do you a full demo on how it works. But you've basically got a a 6x3" platform there that we can work inside, and all the dies in the bundle that we've got on today work with this particular size. If you've got other machines, they are just a thin metal die, so they will work in any of your machines, but obviously they've been designed to work optimally with our products, our machines. So all I'm going to do is pop that in there. I've folded my foam and I'm literally going to pass it through.
Will these work with paper as well, these dies?
They will, yeah, lots of different things. You know, you can use paper, they look beautiful, made in vellum. You can use foiled paper, you know, the paper that you've got in your paper
I bet
packs.
some of our pattern papers look lovely from our
yeah,
paper
they
pads.
are just essentially a thin metal die, Joe. So because we're selling them as flower forming dies, doesn't mean to say that you can't cut them out of something else and just shape them like you would normally do paper flowers. Like I've been making paper flowers for years before the foam came along. So yeah, don't forget that you can use them with all the other materials as well. They are thin metal, so you probably wouldn't be able to start cutting. I'm not sure that you'd want mount board flowers or anything like that, but you might, if you use the Geminis, you might get it through, such as like felt. Okay. Or soft faux leather, things like that. You could have a play. You know, at the end of the day, if you use a little tiny scrap of whatever your medium is, have a play with them and see what happens. So it's great for using up scraps and things. You know, I think everybody's got a scrap box. Every crafter I know has got a scrap box. Some are larger than others. Mine overtakes my craft room and I have to go through it every so often and clear it out because I save everything. And my husband laughs at me. So cut 3 layers there. So I've got 3 of the larger ones and then I've got some of the next size down. So let's have a little look. We'll do, and again, how you put them together is entirely up to you. You can layer up lots of layers. You can just do a couple, you can just do singles, and I'm going to talk you through all that. So we're actually going to look at 2 large layers together and a small layer. We'll make a full one. We'll do a large and a small one, and we'll do a couple of small ones.
If we wanted to add colour to these, Jan,
yes.
Joe,
you've read my mind.
Oh, really? Is that what you saw?
Yeah. Well,
Look at me interrupting you.
No, I'm just going to bring this in because I thought I'd write this out because this is literally the format. Right. So I've just written down cut, colour, shape and assemble.
It's as if I've seen this before, isn't it?
And you haven't, have you?
No, I haven't.
But that is pretty much what the flower forming consists of. You cut them out with the die, add any colour that you want to with whatever medium, and I'll talk you through what mediums you can use. Shape them, all right, and we'll talk about how to do that, and then we're going to assemble them, all right? And that's pretty much all there is to it. It is quite simple. So we've cut them out, we've done the first step. Adding a bit of colour then, you have options. I'm actually going to bring in one of our Harmony inks today. You could just as easily use some of your alcohol markers. It could be any of the ink pads. I've got the water reactive ones, it could be the quick dry ones. I wouldn't use pigment inks purely because they take longer to dry. So obviously those are made really for embossing and things like that, so they would stay wet longer. But the water reactive and the quick dry ones, perfect. Now I've picked Spring Meadow here, which is that lovely bright sort of greeny yellow colour. And I've got one of our little blenders, and all I'm just going to do is literally dab the centres of them. I want a little bit of colour in the centre of these, and then the rest of them are going to stay white. All right, so awesome. We're just going to add that little bit of colour, and this is stage 2 on that list. So we've cut them out, we've added whatever colour we want to add to them, and the next step then is to shape them.
Loads of people are crafting along with us. Brownie's Crafts on YouTube says, love this. I've just opened and started with an ivy die, so she's going to be crafting along with us. Gilmore on YouTube says, well, my 9-year-old made foam flowers for the first time last night. They turned out beautiful and they made her so happy. It was my first time too, and so glad it was an easy craft. Gilmore, you know what you've got to do. Pop us those pictures, studio@craftscompanion.co.uk. We would love to see what you made, especially as it was your first time. It would be so lovely to see how they turned out. So do drop us an email and we'll share some of the pictures and photos of what you've been making a little later in the show. They're lovely, lovely, nice colour. What colour was that?
That was Spring Meadow. It was the lightest of the greens in our water reactives. But again, if you've got, any inks, if you've got Memento inks at home, if you've got Distress inks at home, any of your sort of water-based inks work absolutely fine. So don't think you've got to rush out and have exactly the right thing. All I would say to you is have a play. At the end of the day, it's a little bit of foam if it goes wrong. And what you've just said there, Joe, it's nice to hear that people are doing this with the children, with the grandchildren, because it's a nice little craft. The Mini has got no electronic parts in it, so you've not got to worry about children with that. The dies, even though we refer to a cutting edge on the die, they're not sharp. Obviously, I'm now going to bring a piece of equipment that would need supervision. You do need a hot iron for the next step. If you remember, we said we were going to cut, colour, now we're going to shape them, and you do need the iron for that. So obviously if you're working with children, this is the bit where they would need supervising. Now at home, I would have the iron facing me and I would work so that I can see what I'm doing. But just for the purpose of demoing today, I'm going to turn my iron round so that you guys can see what I'm doing and see exactly how it works.
What setting have you got that iron
It's
on,
on high, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah, fantastic question. Yeah, I always have it on the highest setting. If I was working with the kiddies, I'd probably turn it down a little bit. Doesn't really matter what the temperature is. All it alters is the length of time that you will have the flowers on the iron.
Okay.
So if it's lower setting, you'd keep them on a wee bit longer than you would if it was a higher setting. On the top setting, it literally works in seconds, and it doesn't want any steam in it, any water. It just is the iron on its own. So cheap as chips iron. You know, a lot of the places do like a home range that's nice and cheap. It doesn't have to be anything
for a £5,
fancy.
can't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it doesn't have to be
A
anything
£5
particularly
if you're in
fancy.
the US means £5 English pounds, by the way.
And then I'm also going to bring in some of our shaping tools as well. Now we've actually got a set of these that we use, and I think they're on our website. I think we've not got them on the show today, but if you have a look on the website site, you should be able to see them on there. And these are what we use for that third step, which is shaping those flowers. So I'm just going to pick the largest one for the large flower. I've got my foam, which comes with the shaping tools. So those come as a set. So we've literally thought this through and given you all the bits that you need. So I'm going to take my flower. I'm going to start with the largest one, and I'm literally going to pop it flat onto the iron and just hold it for a second or two, and can you see it shrinking slightly?
Oh yeah.
And bubbling up, and that's all it needs. Okay,
And that's it.
and then when it's while it's warm, I'm literally just going to put my ball tool in the middle on that foam, because you want to get it to the shape that you want it while it's still slightly warm, and then you can leave it to rest. Okay, so let's just do that again and show you again. So I've got the flower facing up with the ink away from me, flat on the iron. I've used the ball to hold it. You can see it sort of reacting. It's almost as if it's saying, "Ow, it's hot." Let it go,
And that's
and
it.
then pop it onto your foam and shape it in the, go for what shape you want it to look like.
Awesome.
But I always think, if you go and look at flowers in their natural habitat, there's hardly any two look the same.
No,
and this is why
absolutely.
it's great, because if one turns out and you think, oh, it looks a bit wobbly, or I've torn one of the petals, they're like that in nature.
Yeah, absolutely
they
are.
really are. So don't throw it away if one loses a petal. Just go for it.
And I think, sometimes the heat activation on our phone can seem like a bit of an unnecessary chore at times, but having seen and sold and worked with phones that are and aren't heat activated, you would not believe the difference it makes to how robust they continue to be a long way down the line. How often have you made foam flowers with a phone that's not heat set? You put it in an envelope, you think how it gets chucked around in the mail system, and it gets there and it looks like someone's been sat on it for a week, doesn't it? It just doesn't have that really nice dimension still that we want. With ours it does, doesn't it? If it gets squished, it seems to sort of spring back again, Jan.
It does, because it holds its shape, and once it cools down, it stays in that shape. So this is why it's best to shape them as you go along. So don't be tempted to think, right, I've done all the cutting at once, I've done all the colouring at once, I'm now going to heat them all at once and leave them in a pile. Because this bit here, where it shrinks and curls, and let it fall off, can you see what it's turned into here? If I let that cool like that, it will just stay like that.
Okay.
So that's why I'm shaping it now into what I want it to look like, and then leaving it to rest and cool down, and it will stay like that. It'll never go back to this sort of shape that we started off with.
Loads of people chatting away. Schmid Burness on Facebook says a travel iron that lays flat is a dream for flower forming.
Yep.
Great idea. Liz says, I love flower forming. First time I made some and took a photo, my camera recognised it as a flower. Liz Williams, you must have a really fancy phone. Rebecca says, I love the flower forming demo. Carol says, I really enjoyed Jan. I have missed her. So direct and clear in instructions. I'll be saving this for when I get started with my cards. What a lovely compliment.
Bless you, that's lovely, thank you.
And also, if you do want to share this, if you watch it on Facebook, you can share it. It will then live on your wall. If you're on YouTube, you can save it. You can save it on Facebook. You can always go back and look at it on our website as well. Gilmore says as well, she says she needs to get her daughter the Mini. I mean, it is perfect for people that are getting into crafts. Just Rachel, says, good morning from Florida. I got this love all the new colours. And Crystal says, can't wait to play with these when I get home from work. I love that Crystal's watching us at work. How fabulous is that?
Sneaky, yeah.
Yeah, maybe with just like one ear pod in so she can hear the phone ring.
You see, if we've got long hair like us girls, you can hide them under your hair and nobody knows.
Really? No one knows at all.
So, I'm just
Sounds like you speak from experience there, Jan.
I'm just going to show you what I've done there with my stamens. I've just got some ready earlier and I've pulled some of those stamens out of that autumn pack. And literally just make sure that they're all level here at the top. And then I've got some really thin florist wire. The thinner the better because it will go through your flowers easier. Pop it across the centre, fold it in half, fold your stamens in half, and then just twist that wire to hold them in place. So I'm going to make 3 lots. We're going to make 3 flowers. So I've done exactly the same. We'll just chop another little bit off there. And again, over the centre, fold the stamens in half, twist the wire, and those are ready now. So the other bit of kit that I've got, which most of us have at home, is the good old pokey tool. All right, so this is one of our Crafters Companions ones. If you have a different brand at home, as long as it's got that pokey end on it, does the job. So we said we were going to go for a 3-tier flower. So I'm going to go with one of the smaller ones first, and I'm literally going to aim for the centre and straight into the foam and pick it up. Okay, then we're going to have a look at 2 of the larger ones. So again, just turn it. Let me move these out of the way. So you see how I've turned it so that the petals are not laying over the top of each other. They're actually alternate, yeah? And then through the next one. And then we'll bring in another large one, and I'm going to turn it again, and I'm going to press again. So you can see how that flower's come into shape now. If I actually bring this out, you can see there.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Really lovely dimension on that.
Okay, so then, as long as you've got the hole through the centre, remove your pokey tool, grab your stamens with that little bit of wire, which will go straight through the centre, and then just gently tease those stamens through the centre of your flower and take them as low down as you want them to go. Okay, and then I'm just going to bring in, I've had my glue gun on, and on the back here, I'm just going to pop a little tiny bit of hot glue. And again, if you're doing this with the children, maybe try our 3D glue gel and leave them to dry rather than using a hot sort of glue. We use it for speed when we're demoing. And I'm going to lay that down to dry. And we'll do the same again. So we're just going to go for a 2 this time. So we're going to go for the smaller one and a larger one. And this is what creates that sort of depth when you start putting them together. Take out that pokey tool and thread in your stamens through that little hole. Does help when you've got them lined up, Jan.
Nikki says, if you don't form it right the first time, can you apply heat and reshape it? It's not something I've tried that, Joe. We'll have to have a look at that and see. I think once it's shrunk down, obviously you can't make it bigger again, but you might be able to have a go at reshaping. Yeah.
So again, just pull those through, tip it so that those 3 are offset, and then on the back of it, just to secure it, little tiny bit of hot glue, and then let that set. And then the last one, if you notice here, I've been playing earlier with some red ink, and you can just see how this one's actually, it was on the ball tool that I was shaping it with. So I'm going to use that one at the bottom, and we'll not be able to see it then. We'll put that one underneath. Okay, same again, take it out, pop the stamens in, and secure it with a little bit of hot glue. Like I say, the 3D glue gel works just the same. It will do the same job. Obviously, you just need to allow that time to dry. It takes a little bit longer to dry. So if we go back to our key at the beginning, you can see that we did let me just bring this one back in. We cut them out with the metal die to start off with. Okay. Then we coloured them with a little bit of our water reactive ink. Then we shaped them using the ball tools and the iron, and now we've assembled them, all right? And then I thought, seeing as we've actually done this and put them all together, we'll just pop them onto a little project. So let me just clean that ink off there. And obviously it's not necessarily about card making today, so I've actually pre-made my card. Okay, and just before we actually put that on there, I think we might just heat up a little bit of the foliage as well. I've got some bits already cut. I've just knocked something on the floor, but we'll pick that up in a second. Let's have a look. We've got some pieces cut already, so just bring these into shot for you while my flowers are drying. You can see we've got couple of the fern leaves there. We'll have a couple of those.
Flat without heating them if you wanted to.
You could, absolutely no reason why. It's just that when you think about things in nature, they do tend to be curled and shaped a little bit. But yeah, you could use these, especially the foliage part of it, you could just use these to add, to enhance your display. And I think we'll go for, let's have a little look. We'll go for a couple of these ones. I've got all sorts of bits over here. And all I'm going to do with these, I don't particularly want them to shrink and curl up. I'm literally just going to run them across the edge of the iron just to give them that little bit of shape. So again, just on there, just to grab it over the edge. And it just gives them, can you see how they're just curling that little bit? Just the slightest bit. And this is what we were saying about the heat, Joe. If the iron wasn't quite as hot, you might need to just leave this a wee bit longer. But that's enough just to shape that little bit there. So I'm going to move the iron out of the way again so that I don't get burnt. And I've actually said, as I say, I've made sort of the bulk of my card here. So this, I've gone for a Christmas card, lots of layers, lots of tearing. I like it quite rustic. And then what we're going to do is snip, once the glue's set on the back of here, I'm going to snip the whole of that piece off that's stuck out there with the wire and everything. So let's do all three of them. Do the back off that one.
I just got my hands on the scissors. Aren't they fabulous, Jan?
Oh,
Director
I wouldn't
Daniel
be without.
Got me all three pairs.
I wouldn't be without them,
and
honestly.
They are just too fabulous.
And again, you know, that work's been done for you, so you know that they're actually going to do the job. The little snips particularly. In fact, all three pairs of our scissors cut right to the very end. And that's not the case with all scissors. I've had some, especially the ones with the rounded ends, where when you cut, they just sort of chomp your card and tear it. Yeah, so these really are sort of second to none. So with that, that glue then, we're going to carry on with the hot glue. I'm literally just going to pop a little bit down.
If you didn't have a hot glue gun, could you use like a 3D glue gel? Would
yeah,
that work
the
instead?
3D glue gel would work just the same. Yeah, it just takes a wee bit longer to dry. So when we're demoing live, we tend to use the hot glue because it gives a bit speedier sort of finish to it. So yep, pop those down. If for any reason you get these glue strings going on, which tend to happen with the glue guns. Now I've not tried it with the foam flowers, but for paper techniques, if you get those glue strings all over, your heat tool, especially the low setting ones, like the little hairdryer ones, just literally gently over the top and it dissolves all those little hairs instantly.
Great idea.
Now I haven't tried it because obviously you'd have to be very quick, because if you started heating the foam again, it's going to change shape. So I've not tried it with this, but it does work beautifully when you're doing the paper crafting, because you do get those little hairs off the glue. So again, I'm just going to build up a little bit of foliage going on here.
Foliage, I used to call it, and I don't know why.
It's what?
I started calling it foliage.
Foliage? Well, that's very posh.
And in my head, I always thought it was called foliage. I didn't know it was called foliage.
Foliage.
And now I've always stuck to calling it foliage. I don't know why I call it that. I have no idea, Jan. But
I don't know. That's very posh sounding, now, isn't it? Foliage.
I mean, if you know me, you'll know that I am very posh.
Of course.
You know, blue-blooded, one might say. You know, royal lineage, maybe.
Goodness me.
Do you think?
Well, I think then we should have foliage, Joe, don't you?
Indeed.
So again, we'll pop all those in as a little cluster going on there. Get them all together. Give that glue a chance to settle. And then I just want to show you some that I did at home. Just let me pop these on the foam. You might be able to see them. You know, nothing to stop you using just one layer. And these are the smaller ones that I've used.
Buttercup, don't they?
Honestly, you could just do them as extra decoration. So I've got just a little pearl in the centre of one of them and just one stamen in the tiny one. So again, you can use them if you wanted any extra decoration. I've also got a couple of card layers as well that I'd cut out earlier that I'm just going to add a little bit of white in there. And then I've just got a sentiment to pop on, and you've got your Christmas card sort of pretty much done. I know I'd done the prep at home. So I've got a thinking of you at Christmas. Just pop those off there. Add that to my card, and then I was just going to use one of those little single flowers. In fact, I might use a couple of them just to add a little bit of decoration on. And please be careful if you're using the hot glue gun.
Well, the other thing I like about the flower forming foam is that you can use it in so many different things, can't you? Yes, card making's great, but actually decor, home decor, box frames, wearable items as well, Jan. That is beautiful.
So as I say, I know I'd done the prep at home for the card because it's about the flowers today, but
Yeah.
just to show you how beautiful they look. And then as far as gifting that, I'd be making a box. So about 1 inch deep for your boxes, which can be made with our enveloper, it can be made with our ultimate. If you've got, you know, sort of different mediums at home for making boxes, about 1 inch deep is usually enough to fit anything that's got the foam flowers. If you look at the depth of it there, it's not too bad, but you don't want to get them squashed.
No, absolutely
so yeah,
not.
that's our Christmas rose then that's included in that
Beautiful.
bundle today, Joe.
Really lovely. Lots of you loving them as well. Boop saying flower forming just mesmerises me. Rosalind says I could spend hours making flowers. Hours making flowers. You're a poet and you didn't know it, Rosalind. Liz says, so this is going back to the other day. I said that I can't hear the TV. I basically can't watch Game of Thrones, Jan, because I can't hear what they're saying. Because there's too much background noise. I can't pick out what actually the words are. Even when I put the TV on vocal clarity mode, I still can't understand. So I've given up. And I was saying the other day, maybe I need to get a hearing aid. And Liz Williams said, I needed to get a sparkly, she's got a sparkly hearing aid. But apparently, talking about watching things covert, Jan, if I get a Bluetooth sparkly hearing aid, I'll be able to listen to what I want through it as well. People won't know that what I'm doing from a sparkly hearing aid.
Yeah.
But I've got news for you, Liz Williams. I actually bought a sound bar today, this morning online before I came into work for the TV, in the hope that finally I will be able to watch programmes where there's lots of background noise and still be able to hear what they're saying. I'll let you know how I get on with it. It's funny because when I go to the cinema, it's not an issue. I can hear it absolutely fine. But on the TV, there's loads of stuff I can't watch. How strange.
Never thought about that.
I mean, I'm a bit deaf, basically.
Oh.
Anyway, Sandy says, I love the flowers. I have the dyes. I make a lot of them. Carolyn says, cool. I love the shaping of the foliage. And great tip, because I hate those little strings, says Yolanda, talking about that hot glue as well. Let me quickly whiz you through, oh, hello, exactly what you're getting in here in this collection, because you are getting that foliage, as I spoke about just a moment ago. You've got a great price on this. I'll talk you through that in a second. You've also then got the holly in here as well. The holly leaves, which are this one just here, which are beautiful. If you want to make up lovely little Christmas, I can see little Christmas decorations maybe being made with those as well. The next one we've got for you here is the ivy, which is that one there. You're going to be able to do lots with that again. And I think you could really pull that through into summer collections and projects as well. The poinsettia. Poinsettia really is like the most iconic Christmas flower, isn't it? And we seem to be seeing a lot of it at the moment. Every year, it seems to get more prominent, the poinsettia. So you've got that in there, but remember, you can recolour this and do it as different flowers. You can make them abstract as well as being true to their actual lifelike colourways. This one here is the autumn leaves that you've got, which is beautiful. Really love that. I could see some gorgeous wreaths being made out of that. This one here is your Christmas rose. And finally, you've also got the pine cone. I love the pine cone. Now, our pine cone is looking a little bit squished, but they look absolutely gorgeous. They really, really do. Now, as well as getting all of the dies in here, so you're getting a lot of dies, by the way, getting 37 dies in total there in that collection. You're also then going to get as well the stamens in here in the autumn hues, and you're going to get that gorgeous flower forming foam as well. So in total, all of that, if you bought it individually, should be £69.91. It's £50 today in the UK, so you've got a great saving, nearly £20. Club Inspire Platinum members, you save an extra £10, taking it down to £40, meaning you save almost £30, which is great value. If you are across the pond, $88.55 is what you should be paying for this. However, it's $66 today. However, if you're a Club Inspire Platinum member, $52.80 is all you need to part with today, which is awesome value for money. There's a couple of other bits I would definitely suggest that you go for, especially if you want to make everything you're seeing Jan make. We've got an extra foam collection available for you on this show. Now, what you actually get in here is you're getting the foliage greens. You're paying for the foliage greens and the white foam, and we're going to give you another one of the foliage greens in there as well. So it's a buy two, get one free. $11.98 or $19.98. Now I've qualified it, I can just keep calling it foliage. You know that it's I'm calling it a speech impediment almost. Right, we've also got stamens available for you as well. Such great value on our stamens. And this is a 3 for 2 again. So what you're getting in here is you're getting the floral bouquet, which is that one just there. Mrs. Bouquet of the house, not Mrs. Bucket. And then you're getting as well the natural white, and you're going to get the awesome metallics in there as well. $7.98 or $11.90. Would definitely be I would definitely be adding one, maybe two of the foams in there, and at least one of the stamens as well, because it gives you many, many more options when it comes to the way in which you're going to colour all of your projects up, which is awesome. Please keep sending me in your photos. I know we've had a lot of them already. We'll show them a little bit later in the show as well. I must quickly guide you through a couple of extra foams as well available to you. This one here is the Garden of Love foam, which is, of course, Garden of Love being one of Sarah's signature collections. So you've got that there. You've got 9 sheets in there if you want that one. $9.99, $12.99. And you've also got this one as well. This is your floral bouquet of the house as well. If you want to go for that one, this one is $5.99 or $9.95. So definitely go for those. There's a few other bits on the show that I think you'll love, and they're going to go beautifully with your flower forming collections. We've got the glue gun in stock. It is unfortunately UK only. You get an extra set of the glue sticks with that as well. It's £9.99. If you wanted to order the replacement glue sticks, we've got 40 of those for $4.47 for you, which is awesome. Again, it is UK only. There's an awesome blending collection for you with 37 different elements. Now, this is awesome. You get the blending eggs, the spritzers, the brayer, the palette, the mat. You also get the rectangle and round blending tools with the refills as well. I call them blending eggs. What are they actually called? What's their actual... What are they? Blending sponges. They look like eggs though. Pointy eggs at that, but they kind of look a bit like an egg. At £30 or $40 if you want to go for those. What I also have for you as well are some extra dies too. So if you're thinking, oh yeah, do you know what? I'm going to be feet first. I'm going to dive right in and get the lot. Then there's a couple of extra ones for you. You've got leaves and vines, which are awesome. That's £11 or $16.50 if you want to add that to your basket. We've also got the clover, which is a really, really lovely one. This is £8 or $12.50. And my all-time favourite flower, the lily, is also available for you as well. And the lily is £11 or $14. Something else that's been popular, and I just want to give you the details for it, is the Gemini Mini, $29.99 or $44.95 if you want to get your hands on that. So make sure you do grab it. Now, Jan, the Mini, for anyone that's not seen it, it might be mini, but it is mighty, isn't it?
It sure is, Joe, and I'm going to just do a little sort of run through for anybody that hasn't come across it before, because I know we're sort of well known for our electronic die cutting machines. So we've obviously got the large Gemini, we've got the Gemini Junior, and then we've got the Go. And then obviously this goes back to a little hand turn machine. So these are ideal if you're working sort of on a lap tray. I often sit, especially with the flowers, I often sit and cut these out while I'm watching TV at night. So it goes perfectly, you know, sort of transportable. It's not heavy. It's great, like we were talking about, working with the children or your grandchildren. There's no parts in there that they can sort of get into trouble with. So looking at, sticking it on there, looking at it size wise, we're looking at about 4.5 inches by 5.5 inches minus the handle. Obviously that sticks out a bit further. So it's a nice, neat little size. I know we're not going very far at the moment with this pandemic on the go, but when we are back up and running and you're going to classes and things like that, this would be great for taking with you to a card making class, scrapbooking, crop, things like that. It's also got these amazing little suckers on the bottom, and I love doing this demo. I'm going to annoy my producer now because he's got everything lined up, and I'm going to move it. So here we go. I'm going to stick it down onto my glass mat. So as long as it's onto a non-porous surface, stick it down, give it a press on the top. Here goes. Are we ready? I'm going to pick up the Mini Oh, she says, hang
Your
on.
glass, that top is really sticky. It gets a bit stuck, that
Here
glass
we go,
mat.
look. Glass cutting mat. That's actually how tough those little suckers are on the bottom. So once it's down there, am I back in the right place? There we go, look. So yeah, once it's on there, it's not going anywhere. And
Tiffany
then in your
you said about
box...
travel, we're not going anywhere, Jan. Tiffany from Totally Tiffany talked about travel with craft products as even like just travelling to the dining table, even
Of course.
just travelling up the stairs.
Yep.
So it's great if you want to move it around like that.
Yeah, like I say, I mean, my craft room, a lot of good people that know me know that my craft room's in my conservatory. And I do work in there normally when I'm prepping and things like that. But of an evening, once it's gone dark, it gets quite cold in there. So I tend to sort of like, things like this, I just work on a lap tray while I'm sat in my comfy chair, while I'm catching up with TV. And this is great for just cutting out, as I say, all the dies that we've got on today, all the flower forming dies, not just the bundles today, will fit through here. In your box, you also get 2 extra pieces of equipment going on. So we've actually got a clear folder and a purple shim. Now I'll come back to the shim in a second because the folder is the bit that we're going to do the cutting with, okay? So if you're used to one of our electronic machines, you know that we have the sets of plates to work with. When it comes down to the Mini, this is almost like a little embossing folder without the embossing in. The best way I can describe it, it's just like a little plastic folder that's got a reversible hinge, so you can use literally all the different sides. We recommend that just like with your big Gemini, good housekeeping, keep flipping it about. So let's just actually cut. I've got a little bit of spare foam going on. We'll carry on with the foam. Literally open up your folder, pop your medium, whether it be foam, whether it be cardstock, whatever it is you're wanting to cut, as long as it fits in the parameter of that plate, we're good to go. If anything's sticking out, you would need to trim it off with a pair of scissors. It needs to fit inside there. So let's just grab one of those leaves off there and we'll pop that in face down and close this together. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is pass it from one side. You can see the handle's raring to go. Look, it can't wait to get going, and literally turn it. And it is simple as that. It will actually go on it. So there's no, it's difficult to show you how easy this is on screen because it doesn't take any pressure whatsoever. Pull it all the way through and that's your cut done. When we open this again, take this out and you can see that's cut perfectly through my 3 layers of foam. And I don't know whether we can get in on that one. Not just cut it, but look at the embossing
really,
detail.
really gorgeous. Tool
That
Chicky
is testimony to the pressure inside that little machine.
Tool Chicky's been using this in bed.
Yep.
I love that. She says, I
not?
cut all the little organiser pieces with my Mini in bed last night. It was so terrific to finish them up. And Carleen says her Mini sits on her junior machine. Her MIDI is stuck on top of her Big Mama machine. She's got all 4 of them.
Perfect. Yeah, they love piggybacking on the other machines. So all I was going to mention now with the folder is, just like we recommend with our larger machines, next time I cut, I would turn my folder the other way and I would actually cut inside it that way. You can use all 4 sides. Fantastic. So last bit is just the embossing. So I've actually got a little embossing folder that will fit through. We sell lots of these smaller ones, and again, ideal for just smaller projects. And this is where that plate comes in. We don't actually need the clear plate to emboss with, so I'm going to put that to one side. That's for die cutting. To emboss it, you need your embossing folder. And can you see what I mean about they're very similar? You've just not got the detail in the cutting file. So I've cut a piece of cardstock just to fit inside there, just as you would do with any other embossing folder. And obviously this will now go through freely. So we need to make up the right depth to apply the right pressure to do the job. So whether you put it on top of here or whether you put it underneath here, doesn't really matter. Okay, I'm going to pop it on the top, and that's the right thickness for it to go through here and apply just the right pressure for that embossed detail to transfer to our cardstock. And it's as simple as that. I love it. Absolutely simple as. When we take this out of here,
awesome.
We're going to zoom in on this again. If I hold it still just there so that we can get in on it, and let's just see if we can see that embossed detail.
Oh yeah,
all right.
awesome.
If I tip that forward a little bit,
Yeah,
can you see it there?
I can see that.
Beautiful. So like Joe said, even though it's a mini machine, it's got a mighty punch with it. Well worth adding to your kit. And I'm just going to undo the little suckers and stick him back on top of my Gemini, which is where he lives when I'm not using him. So that's our mini.
Awesome.
Okay.
If you want to go for that $29.99, $44.95, you can, of course, use your club discount there as well. Please keep sending me your pictures in. I know we've had loads of them already. We're going to share some of them. We're going to share. Oh, do you want to have a look at them now? Let's. I do.
I love looking at what people have been up to with them.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Linda Armstead sent this one in to us. Oh, I love this. I love how she's used the pattern paper there in the background.
That coordinates perfectly with the paper,
really
doesn't it? That looks lovely.
Awesome.
Yep.
Shelley O'Halloran. I'll try that again. Shelley O'Halloran sent us this one in. Love that with the foliage.
That's those autumn colours, isn't it, that we've got on that pack today. Beautifully. See the fern leaves in there. Can see the dyes. Absolutely gorgeous.
Really lovely. Catherine Livesey sent us this one in as well. Gorgeous milestone birthday card.
Look at those. Isn't that gorgeous?
Really is
You'd
lovely.
pay a fortune to buy something like that in a shop, wouldn't you?
Yeah, even just to buy the flowers made up would cost you a fortune if you were buying them online. Heidi Petra sent us this one in as well. Love those poinsettias.
The poinsettias in the different tones, yeah, absolutely gorgeous.
Really,
don't they look realistic?
Yeah,
you know, you wouldn't know that they weren't real flowers. And I say, people want to sort of come up and touch them to see whether they're actually real or not.
Absolutely, they are absolutely gorgeous. Really, really lovely. Please keep sending me in everything you've been making up with these. Right, Jan, which flower then is next?
Well, we're going to go and have a look at that pine cone next. Because
lovely.
I can honestly say I haven't seen one of these out there before.
Me neither.
And I thought, what a brilliant idea, because people that are making up sort of, displays, rather than thinking flat on a card, start thinking more 3D. So for example, if I just bring this little one in here, can you see how they've actually done a little basket and filled it full of different flowers? And we've got one or two of the pine cones in there. If I just lift this back, you can see him hiding under here, look. And then there's a couple at the front here. So you can actually start bulking something out with these flowers, and they look, that's a keepsake. It's not something that somebody's just going to put out maybe for a week, a couple of weeks for a birthday. It's something that you could actually have out on show as a, sort of an ornament or a focal point.
Yeah, and I think with these flower forming foam, I know we talk a lot about card making with them as well, Jan, but they are wearable with things like headbands, ornaments, decorations, box frames, even little arrangements that you might leave out all the time. I think, they are a great crafting addition, embellishment to a craft card, but loads of other things.
Yeah, once they've been heated up, they're quite tough as well, like you said earlier. I mean, obviously, they're not going to withstand washing if you're putting them on clothing or anything like that. I would recommend having them as like an add-on, as a brooch or something like that on clothing.
A corsage.
Headbands, for the little ones, they would look lovely. I know there are people, I know when I was younger, believe it or not, Joe, when I was younger, I used to do pantomime many moons ago.
You didn't.
Oh, yes, I did. And I used to have, goodness knows how many different costumes, because I was a dancer. Bit more svelte in those days. But
we all?
Imagine how much we used to make and how many different costumes and embellishments we used to make. Something like this just stitched onto a costume like that would be brilliant.
Fabulous.
Yeah. So coming back to our pine cone then, that was the packet for the pine cone there. And we've got those lovely yellow flowers made with the same dye. We'll come back to that later if we get time in the show. But I want to show you how to put that pine cone together. So let's just get everything ready. In that lovely autumnal pack, we've got that gorgeous sort of shade of brown in there. There are two different shades. I've picked the slightly lighter one, okay? And I'm going to bring my mini back in, because the first thing, if those of you that weren't watching earlier, if I just bring my little cheat sheet in there, simple as it gets. Step one, we're going to cut. Step two, you can colour if you wish. I don't think we really need to with the pine cone, but you could do. I'm going to show you a different technique with this one. Then we're going to shape it, which is where the iron, the heat comes in, and then we're going to assemble it. So that's just those 4 steps. So step one, we're going to start cutting, and I have cut a few out, but again, my sheet of foam that comes as was slightly larger than A4 piece. I've literally folded into 4. You can see where I've been playing earlier. In my little sandwich for the mini, and let's have a look. We'll do a couple of the bigger ones, and then we'll go down to that next one again, just to add some more, because the pine cones, I've found, Joe, the more layers you put in them, the better they look. So that one's not going to fit on what I've got left, so we'll just do a slightly smaller one. And again, don't waste your foam. I'll show you a little cheat again when I finish with the foam. That's not going to fit on there either, so we'll go, whoop, it's alive with that one. There we go, look. So again, fold it flat, bring in that little mini, pass it through there, and again, just enough pressure, and we're cutting through 4 layers of foam. If you were doing these with paper, you would probably get through more than 1 layer of paper at once as well, depending on the thickness of the paper. So if it was just ordinary paper from a paper pad, you're probably able to cut at least 2, if not 3 layers. And then what I was just going to show you is if I open this out now, obviously here I'm going to be struggling to fit anything in, but if I open this out now and just trim away that excess, I've actually still got, you know, being as frugal as we are as crafters, I've still got a piece there. Although it's only 2 layers, it doesn't matter, but I've got a piece that's now big enough to cut one of those bigger flowers out.
Awesome.
So don't waste those bits of foam, you know, use every last bit of it.
Brilliant.
Let's have a look.
Loads of people still chatting away in the comments. Janet, the lovely Jan from Singapore, says, hello, hello. It's been ages since I watched a live show. Great to be back watching it. I miss everyone. It's great to have you back watching us as well. I wonder what the time is in Singapore. I was just thinking about it. I think it's probably not just approaching 9 p.m, but I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm right. Oh, it's 10 to 10. See, I almost went with 8 hours difference, and then in my head I trimmed it down to 9. I trimmed it down to 7, sorry. So 10 to 10 in the evening in Singapore at the moment. I think you had a great day, Jan. Heidi saying as well, I love the embossed leaf. I miss which set that came from. That was in the autumn leaves?
The fern leaf is in the foliage set.
The foliage, there you are.
And then the other leaves are autumn leaves, which are both included in that bundle today. Yeah.
Awesome. The lovely Bernie Corner says, hi, Joe and Jan. It's fantastic seeing Jan in the studio this morning. It's been absolutely ages.
I know. A bit far and few between at the moment.
Deborah says, love my mini as well for foam flowers. So easy to sit in an evening and watch TV cutting them all out. Great idea.
Yeah. See, I was that eager to get going then, Joe. I didn't even let you finish what you were saying, did I?
That's all right.
I do apologise.
I do waffle,
like,
Jan. I do tend to waffle. You're like a coiled spring over there.
I know, I love it. So let me just get rid of that bit. So going back to our little sheet again, the second step was to colour, but I'm actually going to bring this out of order now. I'm going to be a bit daring now. I'm going to this was where we started, but now we're going to go rogue. So I'm going to go straight onto the shaping element this time. So, just like we did before, ball tool of choice, we'll go with that one, and just make sure these are clean, because I can see that it's picked some ink up again. So we'll just give it a little clean. So again, iron, like I said, at home, you can do it facing you, and you've got much more control over this. But if I did that here, you'd be struggling to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to turn it round, just so that you can see at home what we're actually doing. So again, it's about the amount of time it stays on the heat. So if you want a really detailed curl or sort of, you know, whatever shape you got, leave it on longer. I don't want much on here. So I'm literally just going to leave it on for a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to let it come away just so that it's catching the edges, and then let it fall. And the reason I've done that is because, can you see on here? Let me just see if I can get this into shot. When I've just pressed that in the middle to cup it, you can see where it's just curled over. Can you see how it's just curled the edge of the petals as well there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm wanting, and then leave that to settle. So again, we'll do the same again. On it goes, about 1, 2, about 3 seconds, let it go, okay? And shape it while it's warm. Get it shaped, and all I'm doing is just putting the ball tool in the centre of these just to give them that shaping.
Does the size of the ball tool make a difference to sort of the overall effect of what it is you're making?
Yes, obviously the bigger tool will open them out more. So what I tend to do is, as I go down the sizes of the flowers, I go down the size of my ball tools with it. So this is the largest one. I'm not on the largest ball tool, but it's big enough for what I want to do. So again, 1, 2, 3, let it off, and just let it catch the edges of those petals as well, and straight away get that ball tool in there to shape it.
So does it sort of let the edges turn in a bit then?
Yeah, it's just sort of almost curled them in on this. If you think about pine cones, they've got that little bit on the edge that just curls in on itself. So again, that large one again, about 1, 2, 3, let it come away, just grab those edges. It falls off itself when it's ready, and then pop that ball tool in there. Right, I'm also just going to pop those on the front there. I've got a lot of these done ready because obviously I wanted a nice big full pine cone. But also in there you get 2 of the dies that are a 3 petal. If you notice before we were working with 5, okay? So as you get higher up to the top, you can actually start and taper it because a pine cone goes in. It's cone shaped, isn't it? Yeah? Yep. So I'm just going to take that very, very tiny wee one there. I want one of those. And I want one, in fact, is that 1 or 2? I think it's 1. And then I want 1 of that next size. That's all I need for this. I think that's it. And I'm literally just going to do the same again. So I'm going to go down probably to a smaller one there. We're going to pop it on. 1, 2. Again, they normally fall off by themselves. If you're worried about how long is the right amount of time, they often fall off by themselves. And then this last one, I'm going to go down to a small ball tool because I really want this one to close up. And I'm going to make the top the centre. All right, so a little tiny one, and I want a proper closed little cup on that one. So let's move that out of the way for a second. And then I'm just going to take 1 stamen. So one of the ones that you maybe don't use as much. Get my piece of, if I can pick it up, piece of wire again, it's that fine. There we go. And just like I showed you before, piece of metal in the middle, twist it round, fold your stamen in half. This stamen won't actually show when I've done what I'm going to do with it, which is why I've picked one of the brown ones that I don't use as much. Twist that round to hold it in shape. And then, I didn't do this last time, but it's actually better if you make sure that the wire are both the same length at the end, so that when you're popping it through the flower, they're going through together.
Awesome. So,
pokey tool back in business, and then just very, very gently through the centre, I'm going to pop a little hole in here, and I want to bring this one all the way through, and I'm actually going to hide it inside here. So just to pop the wire through. My fingers are bigger than the petal. There we go. Pull it through gently and then pop it all the way down to the middle. And then what I'm going to do is open it out, and I'm going to bring in the glue gun, and just be careful with that glue gun. Remember, it is hot glue in there. If you're not a fan of the hot glue gun, use the 3D glue gel. And then I actually want to shape this round that stamen, and I'm going to hold it until the glue's dried, but I actually want like a little sort of bud almost. Yeah?
I'm following.
Pull those extra bits away, the little hairs. Can you see how it's actually folded all the way around now? Yeah. If you've got any little tiny bits escaping, just give it a squeeze, and that's going to be the top of my pine cone now. So here we go. Let me just grab these ones. I've done exactly the same, and I've got loads of them here. Look, lots of different sizes.
Is this one you can really go to town with the layers then, this one?
Honestly, the more you do, the better. If you want a smaller pine cone, just work with the smaller elements of the die. So I started with the very big one first, and I'm literally going to work down them in size. If you want a smaller one, maybe start here.
So
and use
rather
the smaller,
than less layers, less dies is the key with the smaller ones.
Yep. So again, pokey tool at the ready, and I'm going to pick up the little ones first, and they've got a nice space in the centre for you to go through with your pokey tool. So just aim roughly for the centre, and then literally go for it. So as many as you want. I'm literally just going to start layering them up. I'm not really too fussed what they look like, because if you think about a pine cone, it's just got all those gorgeous layers that really open and close depending on the weather.
Loads of you chatting away as well. Donna says she didn't know of a Christmas rose till Crafty Companion, and it is beautiful.
It was one of my Nan's favourite flowers,
Christmas
that, Joe.
rose. Yeah, I've never heard of one before.
Yeah.
Michelle says she sent in some pictures of her flower for me. We'll see those in a little while. Remember, you can keep sending in pictures of what you have been crafting. We love it when you do that. studio@craftycompanion.co.uk. What I would also say is not just a single jam day today. Oh no, it's a double jam day. They're like buses shows with Jan. Wait ages for one and then two come along at the same time. It's Second Chance Sunday today, which is awesome. I love Second Chance. Do you know I love Sundays, right? And someone said this was weird of me, but I love a Sunday, specifically Sunday evening, Jan, because you have a nice little think about all the things that you did the week before and all the things you achieved, and then you kind of think about all the wonderful things you're going to do the next week, and you just reset yourself. And I think it's lovely. I think it's a nice day to retake stock and chill out. And also, you've had a roast potato as well in the afternoon, which I think always makes things better.
Right, that last one that I saved right for the end, if we can just have a little look at this on close-up. I've got most of those petals or cones, whatever they are, coming up, cupping themselves, but the bottom one, it's almost as if I've put it on upside down, because I want that one to sort of be the base and turn away from itself.
Okay.
So I've actually got those all through, my pokey tool comes all the way through there. So just very carefully hold them together, remove that pokey tool, and then remember the little bud we made? We're going to go right through the centre there now, she says, if we can find the hole again. And then pop that one. Oh, there we go. That's where the wire comes in handy. And I'm just going to pull that through all the layers, nice and gently. Pop that one in there.
It's quite a cathartic craft, this one, isn't it, Jan?
Honestly, it's really relaxing. Just pull it through, that's it, it's gone through. And that's going to make the centre. And then rather than having it all bunched together like we would do with a flower, just spread it out a little bit, okay? And then like we did with the flowers, on the back, little bit of glue just to seal it, because you don't want it to slide down that wire. And again, I keep reiterating this, it will work with the glue gel. It just takes a wee bit longer to dry. Obviously, you would need to leave, it takes about half an hour or so to dry, so you'd have to do these in advance. And I'm just going to leave that one now to dry. But can you see how we're getting that beautiful
it's very realistic, isn't it?
Yeah. And the more you do, the more elongated it becomes. So, you know, if you wanted a really big sort of tall one, lots of the larger layers, lots of the next one, and taper it down until you got to the end. But then these are great for putting into those 3D projects if you were wanting to build up, you know, think about sort of harvest and things like that. I know we've got sort of Thanksgiving coming up for our friends over in the States, haven't we, shortly? So I know there's a lot of this kind of thing, very autumn, very harvest sort of looking. They'd make great little gifts for somebody. So that's the pine cone one. As I say, the bit that I would stress more than anything is the more layers, the better. Okay?
Absolutely.
Fabulous.
Right, whilst you reset, I'm just going to run back through what you're getting in this collection. I know so many of you already own this collection, which is why we bring these masterclasses to you, but if you don't yet, we've got a great deal for you. So in this collection, you get the foliage, you'll also get the holly leaves in here, you're going to get the vine as well, which is brilliant, the ivy, in here, which is beautiful. You've got the poinsettia. You've also got the autumn leaves in here, as well as that Christmas rose, and you're going to receive that pine cone as well. Now, 37 dies in total you're getting in here. I need to let you know that 30% of the stock has already gone, and that also that collection, of course, will include a pack of your foam in your autumn colours and also your stamens as well. Now, if you did want to just cherry pick and go for a few items, you can. The best way to get the best value is to go for the big collection. It gives you the biggest saving. Remember as well, where are you? You're over there. £40 if you are Club Inspire Platinum member today, and that $66 becomes $52.80 if you're a Platinum member as well. Of course, if you're a Silver or Gold member, you'll also get a discount. Remember as well, with our Club Inspire Platinum discount, make sure when you always arrive at the website, sign in if you aren't already, and then the price you see is the price you pay. I want to show you though that you can get them all individually if you want to. You could go for the poinsettia, $7.99 or $9.95. The ivy is also available, exactly the same price as well. We've got the holly available for you. And then we also have the autumn leaves, which are those ones. I love those. Love just like little piles. There's the biggest pile of autumn leaves outside the studio here as you come in, and I have to swerve around it because it's massive. Yeah. I think I'm going to get stuck in it if I drive through it. It's huge. We've also got the Christmas rose available for you as well, which is that one just there. That pine cone as well. I can see that one being very busy individually, $7.99 or $9.95, and also the foliage is available for you as well, which is that one there. The foam on its own, if you want to go the foam on its its own. If you want to go for the autumn hues, you can get that on its own, $9.99 or $12.95. The autumn hues stamens are also available, $3.99, sorry, or $5.95. Got some more foam for you as well, though. A 3 for 2 on this foam, and this is awesome. What you're going to get is you're going to buy this one here, which is your foliage greens. You'll get the white one, and then you buy the white one as well, and then we'll give you another of the foliage greens included as well. The white one's fantastic. This obviously, most stuff is green. There's always some element of greenery within your flower forming projects. The white's great because the white's a really versatile one. You can add colour and make that any colour that you want it to be, which is fantastic. We've also got a trio of stamens available for you as well. And this is a buy 2, get 1 free, or 3 for the price of 2. So you've got on here the metallics, which are awesome. These are great if you're making abstract flowers. You know, you're not doing them true to colour. You're making them a bit glitzy and a bit glam. You've also got the floral bouquet as well, which is that one there. And finally, you've got the natural white. And again, with the natural white, add colour. Think about dropping these into your aquatints, your sparklings, those kind of things. The jars that you've got of those, you can add colour in that way if you wish. We've then also got a couple of different foam packs that are available individually for you as well. This one is a floral bouquet. This also goes beautifully with the stamens in the floral bouquet range. And then we've also got the Garden of Love, which is that Sarah signature foam collection there. I love this one because you get 3 different colours in here, so it's a really good versatile pack of foam, $9.99 or $12.99. Right, we've talked a lot about Club Inspire discount. If you're new to us here at Crafty TV and you don't know what Club Inspire is all about, here's the boss to take you through all the details.
Welcome to Club Inspire, our free loyalty club. As a member of the club, you can save up to 20% every time you shop with us. For every £1 you spend, whether it's in one of our stores or on our website, you'll collect 1 loyalty point. The more points you have, the more benefits you'll receive. As a welcome present, we'll give you 20% discount with your very first order. Once you place your first order, you'll be given 250 points straight away, making you a bronze member. This will mean that you'll receive a 5% discount on all of your purchases until the end of the next calendar year, plus priority postage. 500 points takes you up to silver membership, where you'll get 10% discount plus free shipping when you spend over £20. When you get to 750 points, you'll become a gold member, which gets you a whopping 15% discount on every order, and we'll ship them to you completely free, no matter how big or small they are. Spend over £25 and we'll send them to you via our premium next day delivery courier service. When you reach 1500 points, you'll become a platinum member, giving you the same shipping benefits as a gold member, but with the added bonus of a massive 20% discount on all of your purchases. Now on top of that, you'll receive exclusive discounts, sneak peeks of brand new products, special offers and money saving vouchers. You'll have access to an exclusive secret Facebook group to meet like-minded friends, to find out information first and to be inspired by all the Crafty makes. We'll send you a completely free quarterly Digimag direct into your inbox, giving you lots of hints, tips, inspiration, additional offers and some sneaky behind the scenes gossip from the team. So what are you waiting for? Become a member of our club today.
Make sure you join the club because it's absolutely free to join and it allows you to get some juicy discounts as well. Loads of you chatting away as well. Janet says, Joe, I love what Sunday means to you. Very inspiring, makes me realise how we tend to focus on Monday when we have to start work and then the week again. I'm now going to change my way of thinking. Oh, I'm glad I've inspired you there, Janet. Do you know what? We were talking as well before the show about like what a perfect weekend is for us. Not like going away weekend, not like jetting off somewhere, which is what we'd all love to do, let's face it. Well, I personally would anyway. What just an awesome weekend looks like for you. I think mine would be Saturday afternoon, going to like the theatre on a Saturday afternoon, which would be the dream, wouldn't it? Having friends around for dinner on Saturday night, and then Sunday meeting up with friends and going out for a roast dinner locally and maybe a cheeky cocktail afterwards, and then coming home, snuggling up on the sofa for a little nana nap. on Sunday night. That's my perfect weekend. What's yours? Let me know in the comments what your perfect weekend is, and we'll share some of them. You can drop into the comments on Facebook or across on YouTube. Jan, what's your perfect weekend? Nothing too elaborate, you know.
I think probably the Sunday rather than the Saturday. Saturday's usually a getting jobs done day, but
Right.
Sunday's very much, well, under normal circumstances, it's a family day. We're very big. We have a very small family, but we're very close family. So it's a case
Right.
of normally, as I say, not at the minute, but normally, round to our house. I cook a Sunday. We love our Sunday lunch. So usually a roast beef
Chicken or
lunch,
beef? Oh.
Yorkshire puddings,
Nice.
and my producer's shouting, lamb. No, it's roast beef at our house. And then usually once we've got cleared away, I love playing board games, Joe.
Oh,
I have
yes.
got a cupboard full upstairs of
Who's a
all board games.
Do you have
And
a
I must
cheater in your
admit,
house?
Scrabble champion here.
Right, okay,
they all
brilliant.
play Scrabble to try and beat me. They do.
Who's the one that's fiddling the bank when you're playing Monopoly?
Oh my goodness! Nobody wants to do the bank. We've got lots of different. I've got Game of Thrones version of Monopoly, Joe. Oh my goodness, yeah, very very much. Same at Christmas. It's the games come out and that's it. We're all gone. Yeah, but I love that. That would be my ideal weekend. But of
Sounds
course,
lovely.
at the moment, we're trying to work around that. It's normally a video call
Zoom.
instead, and
It's
it's
a
just a
Zoom
sniff at the
roasting.
roast beef.
Absolutely. For those of you in the US that don't know, we are back on lockdown here in the UK, which means we can't visit each other in each other's homes. But we've only got a couple more weeks to go, we hope, and we'll be back in form. We hope indeed. Loads of you have been sending pictures in as well, which we love. Lynn Collinson sent this one in to us. I love this. Is it a wreath or is it a decoration?
It
I'm
looks
not
like
sure.
a wreath,
It's
doesn't
both,
it?
isn't it?
Again, we were talking about those 3D projects, weren't we? Yeah, that
It's a
looks
wreatheration.
fabulous. A wreatheration.
Yeah. It's like or a deco wreath. Who knows?
We could make up our own language, couldn't we?
Well, I mean, I've been talking gibberish for years, Jan. Gilmore and Cara, have sent this one into us. How awesome are they? I love that. Oh, Cara is the
Wow.
9-year-old.
That is fantastic.
Really, and
isn't
that's
it?
their
And
first attempt.
just proof that we were saying, we don't just stand here and say it just for the sake of it. This is actual proof that it does work.
It really, really does.
Yeah.
The lovely Mary from Tennessee, a friend of the show, has sent this one into us as well. I love that. Very simple, but how beautifully does it finish that card?
Just finishes it off perfectly, doesn't it? As I say, majority of what we make, we embellish, and these make such fantastic embellishments. They really do. They're lifelike, aren't they?
Really is. And also, that's beautiful, Mary. Thanks for that. Kim sent us this one as well. Kim Waller sent that one. I love it. I love that
making
we're
the pine
seeing a lot of
cones.
flowers with very bold backgrounds, which is not something we really think about doing all that much, is it?
Well, I suppose it's that autumnal feel, isn't it? And as I say, over in the States, they're coming up on Thanksgiving shortly. So something like that would be perfect, wouldn't it, for a Thanksgiving card?
It really would
But
be.
yeah, I love the autumn colours.
Really lovely, and I
Yeah.
think, really, really gorgeous. Michelle says, my perfect weekend is doing nothing, watching crafting shows or Lifetime movies all day, possibly making cards, boxes, or whatever else I fancy. Kate says, I'd love Sundays at Jan's house, roast beef followed by board games. Mary says, well, Sunday's a family day for us too. Love Scrabble. I'm also the one everyone wants to be. And the thing is, you're a Yorkshire lass, aren't you, Jan?
I am born and bred.
So the Yorkshire puddings at your house must be
Born and bred.
off the chart, I'm thinking. Off the chart. Are they crispy or are they a little bit doughy, Jan?
Ooh, bit of both.
Okay.
Crispy on the outside, doughy in the middle. And do you know when we were younger, Joe? I don't know whether you've heard this or
Sorry.
not. Again, being from Yorkshire,
Yeah.
when we were younger, my mum used to be the Sunday dinner maker and
Yeah.
making the Yorkshire puddings. And we always used to save one of the Yorkshire puddings for a dessert and
I've
have
heard this
jam
a
in
lot.
it.
With jam.
And everybody looks at me gone out as if to say, what? But honestly, it's almost like a pancake mixture.
Yeah.
So why not have it? And we used to save one from our dinner and have it afterwards with a spoonful of jam inside it. I know it's absolutely delicious. If you've not tried it, have a go.
Weren't they originally invented to have before your meal to fill you up before you ate your roast
Possibly,
dinner? That's
yeah.
what I heard. Is the origin is it's something you'd eat first, like bread or bread rolls, to fill you out a bit before you had the expensive meat and vegetables.
And then you didn't have to have as much of
didn't need
that.
as much.
Possibly, yeah.
Who knows? Oh, I'm really hungry now. Anyway, what flower are you going to take us through next, Jack?
We're gonna
Keep
go
getting your
with the-
weekend selections, your perfect weekends into me as well.
Yep, we're going to go with the ivy next, all right? We're going to play with a bit of foliage, Joe. Okay, so I'm going to go for one of those green packs which we talked about. If you order the white and green, we get an extra pack in there. And there are 2 shades. If I just bring the other one in, we've got that lovely sort of more of an olive green and then that lovely sage green in there. So for the ivy, I'm going for that sort of sagey colour. And again, we get 5 pieces in here. Varying sizes, so we'll take a couple of the larger ones off, and these have got the most amazing embossed detailing. So again, my foams come straight out of the packet here. I'm literally going to fold it in half along the width, and then I'm going to fold it in half again to give me those 4 layers. It's the easiest way of doing it. It fits inside that medium now to put through my mini, and I showed you how to open out the foam and get the most of those little bits that are in those extra places. So again, we'll pop a couple of those leaves on there. So we're cutting 4 leaves at a time. If you bring them down the outside here, this is on the fold, so that was when I remember I opened it out and we cut those extra pieces. Get the most out of your foam there, don't waste it. So again, just pop those in there. We'll bring the mini back in, feed that in there, cut those out, and are you getting ready to zoom in for me? Get ready with your zooming in, because the detail on these are outstanding. So let's just pop this on there, take them off.
Oh wow.
Right, are you ready to zoom?
Oh, we've got you there on
Just
the overhead.
look at those. That's stunning. Absolutely
Really
stunning. So if you
beautiful.
wanted to work with them as is, you've got that gorgeous detail, and that's cut through 4 layers, and look at the bottom one.
Oh,
Yeah?
still got the detail as well.
So when we were talking about the foam at the beginning of the show, it really has been thought through to give you that optimum sort of detail. That's the smaller one.
Answers to those embossed lines
Look at
stay when you heat the foam.
Right, that's what I was going to come on to next, okay? So it does actually disappear a wee bit, but I'm not going to heat these in the same manner. Okay. So again, we've cut out, you could add some darker green to the edges of these, but I'm just going to go work with them as they are. So we need to bring our heat source back in again. Just remember, when you're working with the iron, please be careful. You know, my fingers, I don't think, somebody once said to me that crafters make great thieves because none of us have got any fingerprints left.
That's true.
So all I'm going to do with these then, I don't want to curl these up. You know, the flower we actually brought up and sort of made that lovely little cup. I don't want to do that with these. Do you remember, if you were watching at the beginning of the show, you saw me do those fern leaves, and we literally just give it a touch of the heat. All right, just to give it some shaping. So I'm going to do these sort of like in 2 parts. If I can get them apart. That little mini's done such a good job that it's actually, there we go. I think it's because of the embossing in them. It's like squeeze them together. So we just need to get them into their singles. We've got 8 leaves there, and then I'll show you, I've got some that I've done, and we're going to add these onto a project again, just to show you them, because we make lots of flowers, but I know some people sort of like the ideas of what to do with them.
They do indeed.
Do you know, they're actually fighting back, Joe.
We've really started everyone off with the talk of Yorkshire puddings, because Mary says, oh, I'd love to try Yorkshire puddings. They sound so yummy. They really are, Mary. Sharon says, coming to Jan's for the Yorkshire puddings. I live in California, but was raised with roast beef and Yorkshire pudding. Ooh. I'm on my way. Just Rachel says, I made Yorkshire puddings, and my son would have them with maple syrup for breakfast. Oh, delicious.
Yeah.
And Julie says, Mum used to serve Yorkshire puddings with butter and sugar. Very yummy.
Oh, I've not tried that
butter
one.
and sugar.
Right, so with my leaves then, like I said, we don't really want this all to curl up on itself. So I'm going to treat it as a leaf of 2 halves. So again, just touching the iron and bringing it round that edge. And can you see how it's just curled up that one side? Awesome. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Drag it across the iron, use the edge of the iron, and you can see how we've gone from something that's flat to something that's got some shape. If I turn it the other way up, you can see. Now you can see the veins have faded a little bit, but they haven't gone completely. So there is still a hint of them there. And if you wanted to go in with a pen, you could actually, you could draw over those. So again, literally just stroking it over the edge of that iron, and that's all I want to do with them. So we'll not do them all because I've got some that I've already prepared, but you can just see the longer you leave it on, the bigger the curl. So if I leave this one and do it really slowly, Can you see how it's literally curling those
that's really
edges in,
awesome.
look? Yeah? So it makes them look more lifelike, because I've not seen many ivy leaves that are just flat. So again, popping it across, dragging it round there. And this one does actually work better. You know, we were talking about having the iron facing away from you. This one does work better, I find, when it's actually this way round, because to try and do this when it's against you, you would be working away from yourself. So in this instance, actually turning it round so that you can see what you're doing does work. So there we go, look, you can see how they're working. And that's all I'm going to do to them. All right,
Really
so we'll
awesome.
leave those last few.
Lots of people talking about this as well. Pam Craven, who is another friend of the show, always says, I bought this a while ago. I've used all the poinsettias and leaves, but not the white Christmas rose or the fir cone. We'll be having a go this coming week. I've just had so many dies to play with since birthday week buys. Lots of you having a lot of fun, I'd imagine, with all of your birthday week purchases.
It's like Christmas come early, isn't it?
Very busy couple of weeks. We call it birthday week. I mean, it goes on for about 3.5 months. It was about, I think it's 16
it's got longer
days
as the years have gone on.
And it will be
it's
longer
like,
next year than it was this year,
we
no
thought
doubt.
it was a
We
good
can't
idea
wait.
at something like 7 years to have 7 days, and of course it's like 15 years, 15 days,
Absolutely.
and some, yeah. So what I've got now then is I've got some florist wire that's a wee bit thicker than what I was using before. It's the green coated wire this time. And what I'm going to do is choose one of my leaves, it doesn't matter which one, and I'm just going to run a little bead of the hot glue down the back of it, about 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to lay that wire in there and let it dry. Okay. So we'll do that again. Have I got another piece? Yep, I've got a bit more there. Let's do that again. We'll just cut that one in half. And you can get this from any of the florists.
Okay.
It's not hard to find.
I'm
so
sure you'll find it online as well.
Possibly, yeah. I think you can buy pretty much anything online these days, can't you? All right, so we've just put a little tiny bit, about 1/2 inch of glue, and then stick that in the back of it and let it dry. Okay?
I just got a trailing ivy gifted to me from my apartment by my friend Nick. And I think it might be a Little Shop of Horrors-esque sort of incident waiting to happen, Jan. Because I've put it on top of it's not a bookcase, I've got like a shelving unit, which has got like, their shelves, and it's got arms at the sides, it's not flat solid sides, right? And the ivy is sat on the very top front corner. Already in a week, it's wrapped itself round 2 times around the
it does, it
thing.
grows
Honestly,
like
if
crazy.
I have a particularly big, like, I am champion napper and the sofa's next to it, I had a big nap, it could be, I mean, I could wake up
Could be wearing it.
encased in it, you know. It started talking to me, feed me. I can see it happening
I've
now.
got that image now of you in my head. So all I've done now is I'm actually attached that wire and then something round. It could be, I'm using my pokey tool, it could be a pencil, anything like that that's got a round shape, the end of a paintbrush. And literally all I'm going to do is take it about 1 inch down and then wrap this around whatever it is you're using. So you often find with the ivy that it has that sort of trailer on it, and you can see now that we're actually going from something that was pretty flat when we cut it, which looked ace, but we're now into something that looks much more realistic. And again, just to show you that on a project, I've got one that's pretty much, you know, I've started it because it wasn't about the card making today. So I've just got a nice tall card this time with some papers on out of my stash. And then I've stamped out one of our gorgeous verse stamps. And I've picked this, I can say it specifically, because I think sort of sympathy cards are one of the hardest to make, and something like this with the foliage on could be for a man or a woman. You know, there's no sort of right or wrong with it. So all I'm going to do is pop this, I think I'm going to pop some foam pads on the back of here. Let's see what we've got in there. We'll just pop a couple on the back, just so that we've got a bit of depth going on, and then I'm going to decorate it with that ivy. So we'll put those, oops, on there, take the backs off, and then this is going to be the focal point of my card, enhanced by that lovely ivy. And I've got a few more that I did off the camera, exactly the same as what we've just done. So let's position that one about there, and then I'm going to use the hot glue. Let's bring all these others. You can see that they're exactly the same, and I've gone down through the sizes and made some little tiny ones Loads of them going on there now. So I'm literally just going to make an arrangement with them now. We'll start off with the bigger ones, and again pop the glue down, and then I want to shape this so that I don't want to cover up the writing, but shape it so that that wire goes. Just got a bit of glue there where I didn't want it, so let's just remove that little bit. Okay, get rid of those strings, and like I said, just very briefly with your heat tool, just gets rid of those. So again, bring them down. Okay, and we'll pop that one under there. You can curve these round so that they'll sit where you want them. Again, we'll put the glue on the back of there, I think. Pop them just sort of like a little cascade coming down that card there. And we're going to go down through the sizes until we get to the smaller one.
Georgia is talking about if holding the leaves and foliage with tweezers to get some shape if you are really worried about burning your hands. Really great way of using it. Peg says she bought this bundle from HSN. She hasn't tried it yet. Oh, Peg, put your wrist out.
Honestly,
slap you on the wrist.
Once you get going with them, it's addictive, Joe, honestly. So we've got that little cascade going, and then I've just saved one of the smaller ones to go on the top there, just to complement and sort of balance it out a little bit. But you can see there, we've just got a few of those little hairs. As I say, when you've finished, leave it to dry, let the glue set, and very, very briefly with your heat tool, just waft over it, and those little hairs just dissolve. Awesome. And they're just gone. So you can see we've got that taller version there with that ivy cascading down the side of it. But absolutely beautiful. Okay?
Really, really gorgeous.
So that one is just called Ivy.
Right, I know that Jan is going to treat some more demonstrations, but I'm just going to run through again what you're getting here in this collection. So you are getting, have I got these all upside down? Probably. No, I don't think so. Here we are. You're going to get, of course, the foliage with this one here, which is awesome. As you've seen that. That's really great because that just adds a brilliant grounding to a lot of your projects, which is awesome. You've also got the holly leaves, which is this one just here, which is beautiful. Really, really love that. Lots you're going to be able to do with that, especially at this time of the year. You've then got this one here, which is your ivy, which is awesome. Really, really love that one. And again, that's the one that you just saw Jan demonstrating. This one here is your poinsettia. You've also going to receive your autumn leaves in here. As well as your Christmas rose, which was Jan's first demonstration, and of course that beautiful pine cone as well, which can be made up into lots of other different flowers there as well. Now, that's not all you're getting, because you are of course going to receive as well all of the stamens. So you get 400 stamens in here, and you're going to get that flower forming as well. I just want to show you a few things that have been made here using this. Let me just get myself untangled. Here we are. How awesome is that? As a wreath that you might just want to hang inside. You might want to have it on the door somewhere. I think it's really, really gorgeous. How about making your own Christmas decorations as well? I must say, Jane Gundry, you have made my heart happy. Look at this. It is a unicorn with a crown, a poinsettia crown. How awesome is that? She's done it front and back as well. And I think this is actually that's actually flower forming foam that she's used just there as well to do the little ears, I think, which is awesome. How about a little winter centerpiece? Now, I know a lot of you, especially those of you that celebrate Thanksgiving, have a lot of these kind of displays around your house, which is awesome. How about, now I think this is like beyond fancy, how about doing your own boxed napkins with floral rings around them? I just think that is such an awesome idea. Really gorgeous. Maybe you want to give them to people as well as Christmas. Maybe you've got a little cottage industry and you're making things to sell. How awesome would it be to do those? I think they're going to be absolutely gorgeous. Now, the best way to get the best value is to go for the whole collection. Of course, you've got the big saving, and you can use your Club Inspire discount as well. If you want to, though, you can cherry pick and build your own bundle. Of course, what we've got for you are all the individual items. So you can go for the poinsettia. We also have that ivy available. Poinsettia is one of the most populars, actually. You've got the ivy, you've also got the holly in here. You have the autumn leaves, the Christmas rose, the pine cone, second most popular, that pine cone, and the foliage as well. which is this one just here. Also in there, you're getting the foam as well. If you want to go for the extra foam on its way, you can get that. Or maybe the stamens. Maybe you've got this collection, you're coming back to order more of the foam and the stamens. A great way to go. You've also going to receive as well, we also have for you, sorry, the glue gun with the glue sticks. It is UK only, I'm afraid, but it's £9.99. You get the extra sticks. If it's just the extra sticks on their own that you're after, we also have those as well. £4.47. If you want to get your hands on those. We've got an awesome blending collection on the show for you as well. In here you get the brayer, the blending eggs, the misters, you've got the palette in there, as well as the craft mat, and both blending tools with the refills as well. £30 down from £47 in the UK, $40 down from $72 if you're in the US. We do have some extra flower forming dies available for you as well. We've got the leaves and vines, which are these ones here, 11 or 16.50. We do also have the clover for you, £8 or $12.50 there for that one. We've got the lily available too, which is £11 or $14. Lily is my favourite show. Now also, there's the mini available to you as well. You've seen Jan using that a lot throughout the show. It's perfect for all of your flower forming. $29.99 or $44.95 if you want to go for that one. Right, if you want to watch and shop at the same time with us here at Crafters TV, it's really easy. Here's me, a previous me. I'll show you how to do it. Hi, I'm Joe from Crafters TV, and I'm here to show you how you can grab the best deals and shop whilst you watch during our shows. So the best way to watch us is always on Crafters TV. Head on over to our homepage and go to Crafters TV. You can see all of our shows, offers, and even shop while you watch. Now if you want to get involved and comment along, head over to our Facebook page. Come say hello, ask us some questions, and lol with us. Or you can watch us on YouTube. Simply head to our Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Got a smart TV? You can even AirPlay directly onto your big screen. We're constantly adding new and exciting shows to our schedule, so don't forget to check in. It's never been easier to have us in your living room. It's always fun here at Crafters TV, so come join us as we create every day. Fabulous tan there. I just got back from Australia. It was back in January. Anyway, I was looking at that and thinking, gosh, my skin looks great there. And I was like, oh yeah, fabulous tan. That'll be the reason. Hopefully we'll all be getting fabulous tans again sometime soon. Laying on a beach somewhere. I keep thinking about it. Lots of you sharing ideas of what you've been up to. Janet says she loves the ivy card that you did. Melissa says the pine cone looks absolutely awesome. And Corin says she loves the way that you use the ivy with the wires, which is fantastic. Katie's letting me know as well, at our house we do have birthday week. It doesn't go on for 2 or more weeks, but does last 1 week, because with my work schedule, it's sometimes hard to find the day. Pamela says as well, she's foiled some candles and put the flowers, leaves and berries around the base of them. Really lovely thing nice. That you might want to do there. Jan, it's getting really busy on that Gemini Mini. Do you fancy just recapping for us what's so wonderful about it? Because loads of people have got this and love it, haven't they?
They have, yeah. I think it's a really nice addition. Even if you've got one of the larger machines. I mean, I've got a whole range of them. I've got a family of Geminis. But I know a lot of you have got the electronic ones, but this is a great addition for crafting on the go sort of thing, because it's movable. I mean, yeah, you can move your Gemini from one room to another, but when you get up to the bigger one, it's quite heavy. Mine tends to stay in my craft room unless I need it for anything urgently. But this one, I know we're talking a smaller space to cut, but all the dies that we've got on the show today will fit through this little Gemini Mini. So for those of you that were watching earlier, you saw me go through this, but I know we've got some new viewers have joined us as we've gone on through the show. So I'm just going to talk you through how it works again. So it's about 4.5 by 5.5 inches, excluding the handle there, and it comes with these gorgeous 4 little suckers on the bottom. I could just sit all day. I just love the noise when they come off the glass mat. Honestly, we're easily pleased, aren't we? But yeah, it will stick down. Shall I do my demo again? Let me just make sure I'm not stuck to the desk. So let's get it in the centre of here then. Make sure my mat's not stuck. And just to show you how good they are we ready? So up we come with the glass mat. Look at that. Yep, no magic really involved. Awesome. Absolutely brilliant. So once it's stuck down to that good non-porous surface, you're good to go. And you can literally use it with just the one hand. It doesn't take a lot of pressure. It comes to you with 2 sets of what we call the plates, although it is a folder for this one, and then a shim. All right, so I'm going to pop the shim to one side. We're going to look at the actual folder first, which looks a bit like a clear embossing folder with no sort of embossing in it. It's flat, but it's on that basis. It's got that lovely hinge design, which allows you to go either way with it. So you can literally open and close. And we recommend that you use all the sides. So sometimes pop it through this way, sometimes pop it back and pop it through the other way, so that you've got that good housekeeping. Turn it over, literally flipping it round and using all the sides to get that longevity out of it. You can buy these separately. I didn't mention that earlier. They are a consumable, like the plates are in your Gemini. How long they last depends how much you use it, but you can buy extra ones of these on the website that will go and replace. So let's find something to cut then. Let me see what I've got lying around, what's left. We've got a little bit of foam left off here. We'll not use that one. So I'll just use the foam because that's what we've been working with today. So I've got that, some of that bright yellow out of that lovely collection. So that's going to fit inside there. I'm going to grab one of those big leaves. Okay. Literally pop it, cut side down into my fabric, into my medium. Just trying to sort of utilise the foam the best way because I don't like wasting it. Trap it inside there, and as long as what you're cutting fits inside that folder and doesn't hang out of the sides, we're good to go. And then I'm just going to feed it in and just can you see how easy, even over the metal die, literally, that's all it's taking. As I say, I always think it's quite hard to show you this on screen, but that's as simple as it is. This is designed to apply the right pressure.
And I guess it's thanks to all of that gearing that's in there, isn't it? So it means that it's not hard for you to wind through, but you're still getting loads of pressure.
And can you see again how we've got that gorgeous embossed detail on there, look? Absolutely beautiful. And we see
really lovely.
Where is he? There he is, look. Yeah? And again, if I turn it over, you've got the same on the other side.
Brilliant.
So again, that's cut through 4 layers in one go. If you were using it for paper and making paper flowers with these dies, which will work just as nicely, depending on the weight of your paper, I would say 2, 3, maybe 4 if it's only a lightweight paper, just the same as what we've done with the foil. The pressure's in there. So that was the die cutting. I'll leave that for later because I don't need those at the minute. And like we've said with all our machines, they are dual function. So as well as the die cutting, you get the embossing element. So that's where your shim comes in. And I've just grabbed one of our smaller embossing folders there. Just fits nicely through there. It's almost as if it was thought out that way, isn't it? So I've cut a piece of cardstock down to size to fit inside it, and you're looking, there we go. And then this one makes up the right depth for the pressure. On its own, this would literally just pass straight through and apply no pressure. So we need something to build up the depth. Now, if I put it in here, it would be too much and I would have to force it through. If you're pushing to force, you know that something's wrong. So take that away. That one's for die cutting. And all I'm going to do is add my shim, not inside, either on top of or underneath. We did it on top last time, so we'll do it underneath this time. Works the same. Feed it through. And again, I've just got that one, literally 2 fingers. That's all I'm using to turn that handle. It's not hard to work it. Great for working with the children because there's no electronic parts in there. And then when we open this up, can you see that lovely
fabulous
embossed detail in there again? And
really
then on the
gorgeous.
Reverse, you've got the deboss side there.
Awesome.
Fantastic. So
Really
great
great
little machine
Yeah.
to add to your kit.
And especially if you're starting out as well, you don't maybe want to invest in a larger machine or an electric machine. Maybe, you know, those price points are slightly out of reach for you. This is a machine that, yes, it is smaller, but it will pack a punch. It will do all those things that those bigger machines will do. $29.99 if you're in the UK, $44.95 if you're in the US. What I would say as well, if you're unsure, pop yourself across to the website and have a look at the independently verified reviews for that product on our website as well. Now, I reckon we've probably got time. What do you reckon? Time to do maybe one more, do you think, Jan?
I think one more. I think it's got to finish on that poinsettia,
Oh,
Joe, don't you?
absolutely.
But I'm going to go rogue again, Joe. I like going rogue. I like going out the lines. So you might think, why is she sat with a piece of white foam in front of her when we're making a poinsettia? But we've not got the red on the show today. Now, I know a lot of you bought the red when we had the deal on previously, which is great. If you've got the red at home, you can actually cut these out and they are traditionally red. But when I did a little bit of search on our famous search engine, we found out that you can get white poinsettias as well. So I'm actually going to use some of the white foam because we've got that on the show on that 3 for 2 deal. All right, so 2 green and 1 white. And again, I've taken the full sheet out and I tend to work like this. Rather than cutting it down, I tend to just fold it into the 4 layers like so. And you know that that's the right width now to fit in that die cutting element of your little mini. We're going to bring him back in again. He's been working hard today. I hope later on, if you guys are coming back to join me at 4 o'clock, I hope that the Gemini's working because he's been left out. He's sat there sulking on the side. He's not even turned on. Right, so let's have a look then. We're going to get the larger one and the next one down. And again, we'll cut some layers of this out. So let me bring this up where you can see it. We'll turn it over again. Pop your medium inside that you're cutting from. And again, I lined them up. I always have my what I call the double fold on the left hand side. The single fold has got the 2 outside edges. Does that make sense? Yeah, so the double fold on this side, and that was the bit, if you remember earlier, we opened that scrap out and there was enough left to actually cut some more flowers. So I always tend to work down this right hand side with the first cut, and I'll show you what I mean with that spare foam that's left to cut. So let's just pop that through again and let that mini do all the work. Okay, and I'm going to take one of the smaller ones. Let's have a look, we'll probably fit that one on. So when I take these out, you can see again we've got that lovely 5 point. But can you see if I put it on the back of my hand? Look at that lovely jagged edge on there this time. Really, awesome. Really pretty. So that's the second size. That was the first size. And if I just cut that across there now, save that bit for another go. And then if I open this out, what I meant about that double fold was the fact that I've still got full pieces here. So again, trim away that excess so that it's not going through your machine. And then I've got enough left here to still cut extra flowers. So I know we're all really frugal when we're crafting. Don't waste those bits of foam that are left. All right, so we've got an extra layer there of the smaller one. So there's just a couple of layers there, but it's using up that bit. And there's probably still room there to cut the smaller pieces as well. So I won't be throwing that piece away. As my dad would say. All right, so we've got some flowers going on there. Let's pop that to one side. So for those of you that weren't with us earlier, let me bring my little cheat sheet back in there. So if I pop that down for us to have a look at, we've got 4 steps. 4 simple steps to making those foam flowers, or the paper if you're working with paper. We've cut them out using the dies. We're going to add a little tiny bit of colour to them now. Then we're going to shape them with the iron and then assemble them with our glue gun. All right, so simple as that. That is literally all it amounts to. So I'm going to bring this time, I'm literally going rogue this time because I'm going to bring a little tiny bit of pink, I think, in there. And we need one of my little sponges there.
Oh, you're blending eggs?
Me blending eggs.
I don't know.
I think that's actually a good way of describing them. I don't know why I've started
calling them eggs. I'm not sure what happened there.
I know they are an egg shape. They've got a little point at the top. If you look at them, they are sort of egg shapes. I think that's quite cute. I really do. So once I've got them open again, we've got 4 of that larger size. We've got 4 of the next one. And as I say, the pressure in that in the mini, there we go, look, you just need to rub the edges of it. Okay, separate them out, and then step 2 was to add a little bit of colour. So I know traditionally poinsettias aren't pink, but because I can, I'm
just doing a pink poinsettia?
Just on the edge, just to show you that, you know, you can use them for lots of different things. So just blend that out. And then just adding, just to put that on the bottom. Blend it out with the other side. and I'm literally just tipping the edges of them. I don't want to add a lot of colour because I want the white to be the main focus.
And also poinsettia, it's great that you've got that in this collection as well, because it seems to be, I mean, I only ever heard about, poinsettias went on my radar till like 2 years ago, Jan.
Yeah.
And then I saw them on you at Christmas, and now I feel like they're absolutely everywhere. I feel like they are really super trendy.
They are,
Have
they're
become
very
like
popular.
The Christmas flower now, haven't they?
Yeah, and they have a strange sort of care system, I think, when they're, when they've, well, I was going to say flowered for want of a better word, but when they've had all those lovely red petals out, I think if I remember rightly, the petals drop off like a lot of flowers do. And then I think, I'm going back to childhood now because it's a really funny story. You're supposed to put them somewhere warm.
The petals?
No, the actual plant.
I thought you meant the bits that are dropped off.
No, the plant, so that
Right.
it sort of stays warm, ready to sort of like re-go next year.
Right.
Well, we did this at home. I'm going back to childhood now. It's still a funny story because we did it at home. My mum put it in the cupboard in the area, forgot all about it.
It died.
So the following year when we come to get, well, following time when she went in the cupboard to look for something, there was just this stick stuck in the cupboard with nothing else. We still laugh about
You're
it now.
still meant to water it when you put it in the airing cupboard, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, just put those back on there out the way. Right, so step 2 was colour. It's not a lot of colour, I just wanted a hint. I'm just going to wipe that so that we don't pick up any more. Oh, we're going along. And then we need to bring that heat source back in again. So just be careful when you're using the iron at home. All right, we don't want any burns or anything like that. So be aware, you know, it's on its hottest setting.
Could you use a craft iron if you had one?
You could actually. I've got a little
sewing
travel iron. Well, I'm saying a travel iron. It's an old, some people that have been crafting a while will remember encaustic art.
Right.
And mine's what I bought to use that with, and that gets hot enough at home that I can use that one. I don't use a big one at home. This is just in the craft room for us. So again, we're going to go at shaping them, and I want these to sort of curl, but I also want to ruffle the edges. And again, another piece of equipment that we've got on the website. It's not on the show today, but you should be able to find it on the website. I'm here again. The website. I don't know what it is about that word. They're all laughing in my ear. I did it on purpose for you. So this one is actually going to give us the means of ruffling the edge. Joe's lost it now. Come back, Joe. Come back. I'm knocking everything on the floor now, honestly. Right, choose the right tool.
Sorry.
We'll go there.
Do you know what it was? It's because you said it earlier. We didn't dwell on it. We moved on, and we, under a piece of video, we then said, "Oh my word, Jack! I can't believe what you said." We had a good old laugh about it. We got it out.
And then when did it again?
She said it again.
It reminds me of one of my best friends. She's very good at that. So again, on it goes.
Oh, you've given me a titter, Jan. Thank you for that.
Let it curl up, let it fall off, and then literally shape it as you go. So I'm going to do a couple.
It's because we're talking about the website and we're using the word shaping a lot. I think
Yes.
that's where...
Shall we just leave it at that, Joe?
Okay, yeah, we'll move on. I'm not one to, you know, bring things up, so...
Right, I've done 2 the way we've been doing them, and then this one I'm literally going to fold my petals together. Literally fold them all onto each other, like so. Give them a sort of fold, and then I'm going to bring in this one and just give them a little rub on there. And all as it does is sort of, it messes up the edges of the petals. So I'm going to leave those like that. We're going to do another one on there. So warm it up. You can see when it's sort of ready to come off by itself. Literally, I've got the colour inside, and I'm just folding all those petals in on themselves, and then fold them up and basically just give them a good little sort of scuff on there. And all it does is distress the edges of the petals. All right. So again, same again, let it fall off, fold it with the colour inside, and we've gone down to that smaller size now. Just fold them all on top of each other. That one's been a little rogue, all right. And then pop it on there and give it a little...
And again, this is just giving it, you know, we talked about heating it, makes it, shapes it, gives it texture. This is giving it just even more texture, isn't it?
It does, yeah. As I say, it almost distresses them, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the difference without heating. So let's pop that And again on there, and just literally all I'm doing is rubbing across those petals just to distress them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave these ones now, and I'm going to do one without heating it. So let's just have a look. Let's work the same, and I'll show you the difference the heat makes. So we're going to pop that one, and we're going to do exactly the same, and we'll do the distressing. So yeah, we've got that lovely distress feature on it, but it'll not hold it the same as what these do. It will slowly start working its way back to its original sort of flat shape, whereas these ones, you can see how tight
yeah, it makes
stayed.
a huge difference, doesn't
yeah?
it?
So that little bit of heat does make a difference. So let's put that to one side, and let's have a go. What colour stamens shall we have? We'll go with, I think we'll go with the paler ones again. No, I'm going to go green in the middle. We're going totally off piece now with them, look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about half a dozen in a decent sized flower there. Right, so pop them all together. I usually like to get them lined up about the same. And then that lovely piece of, I'll just cut that in half. So the fine wire I've gone back to this time. I just used the thicker wire when I was using it on the ivy leaves. Fold those up in half so that you've got a little cluster of stamens, and then twist your wire to keep them in place. Okay, so those are at the ready, and then bring the pokey tool back in, and we're going to open these out now. And I want to keep these sort of quite distressed, but I'm just going to take one of my ball tools and literally just stretch that foam.
It's quite robust, isn't it, the foam?
It is. And like I said, if you do get a little bit rough with it and you tear one of them, don't stress about it. You know, if you went for a walk in the woods and had a look at some of the plants in there, you would find that some of them are not perfect. You know, it could be that an animal's been at them, somebody could have stood on them, they just may have grown imperfect to start with. But all this is doing is giving the bottom of the petal a little bit more shape, and then the top edge has still got that lovely distressed feature to it where we rolled it on the distressing mat. All right, so can you see now, are we getting that sort of shaping back on them? So just do that last one, and then we'll pop this together. So we've done the cut, we've added a little bit of colour with our ink, then we've done the heating to shape them, and then the last bit is just to assemble. So you can see that I think I've missed one. And just do that last one there. And all I'm doing is literally using my finger to just stretch that foam. And this is why we've got ball tools in all different sizes, because if I tried to do that with this one, you can see where I'm going to come into sort of huge problems. Okay, so choose the right size to fit the petal. We'll do that one as well. You see how this one's opened itself up and not stayed how I put it there? That's the one that we did without heating it up. It's sort of relaxed again almost, whereas the heat encourages it to stay in shape. So let's just do that one as well. We'll use it.
Booper's saying as well, top tip, use the extra foam and heat it, you know, the offcuts, Jan,
Yeah.
and use it in your multimedia projects, which is a great way of using it.
Absolutely. It would be great for adding texture and depth, wouldn't it, to sort of multimedia, mixed media. Right, so I'm going to take my pokey tool again. I'm going to start with the smaller ones. How many have we got there? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We could probably make a couple of flowers there, yep. So right, we're going to go through the centre again. I'm going to pick up the next one and just offset it slightly so that the petals on this one fall in the middles of that one. And then last one again. Okay. And then take that one out. And again, you can make these as full as you like. You know, if you want a really full one, do 4, 5, 6 layers. I've just used 3 layers for this one. And I've got quite a few stamens going on there, but you can see now, it might not look like a poinsettia, but the point behind this was to show you that even though it's a poinsettia die, you can make something that looks quite different. So again, little bit of glue just on the back of there to seal it and leave it to dry. And then we'll do another 5 of those. And then do the same again with the other piece of wire. And literally across the centre, squeeze it in half, fold up your stamens and then twist that wire just to keep them in place. Poke your tool at the ready, and then we're going to do another set of 3. So right through the centre and again. And then the one that I didn't do the ruffling on, I've kept for the base one because it's actually a little bit bigger because we didn't distress the edges, just to cut the bottom of it there. So you can turn them round and get them into position where you want them. Hold them together, and then again we've got that little bit of wire to poke through the middle there and pull those stamens nice and gently just to tease them through the centre. Oops, lost a bit. There we go.
Awesome. I really love this. And I think
With the
it's
green.
definitely one of those things like, you know, almost a bit like crochet knitting is. It's sort of a thing that you can really sit down, can't you? You can, you know,
You just
close
end
the
up
door of
losing
your craft
yourself in
room,
it.
sit in. I like working in absolute silence, you know,
Yeah.
Jan, when I'm at home. Sometimes I think there's nothing nicer. If I'm doing a bit of crochet or something, I like to be total silent. And also if I'm reading a book, I can't have a TV on in the background or
Whoops.
music or anything. It has to be absolute silence for me. How about you? People are saying maybe it's because I'm hard of hearing. I don't know.
Now
What about
then.
you, Jen? Do you work with something on in the background?
I
or-
tend to work in silence, I must admit,
Yeah.
Joe. I differ from both my girls would say they'd have music on, but I do tend to go in silence. Just want to show you here what's happened because I thought, what's gone there? I don't know whether I've missed the centre. But if you are just slightly, can you see how I've sort of gone off centre here and it's pierced the edge of the flower?
Yeah.
I'm literally just going to wrap it back round and just stick it with some glue. Like I said, don't worry about, oh, it's broken, it's torn, it's not going to work. Literally just pop it back in there so that we've got that lovely shape, and then tease them into place, stick them with your glue, and you've got those lovely little pink, whoops, I'm covered in glue now. And then once, oh my days, here we go. Once they're dry, I take the whole bit off the end there and just get rid of that, and you've got those lovely little flowers. Now if I bring one in that we did in the orange foam, this is from the autumnal collection that
Yep.
comes with your bumper pack. It's got the stamens in the middle that come with that bundle today. But just to show you that you can use exactly the same die and make something that looks totally different. And then if I just grab one of the ones out of here, this was actually done at home with white foam and ink. So again, there's lots of different ways that you can make these and make them look, you know, realistic, make them look fantasy. You know, a flower doesn't have to look perfect, and you can use them onto your projects.
Yes, absolutely.
I had actually bought just it's actually an exploding one that I'd made
Awesome.
at home. And again, you know, just to show that you can use these, we could actually decorate the top of this and add these on. I mean, I'm not going to stick them on because they're not quite ready. But again, we've got all that foliage. We've still got some of the ivy leaves there. We've got some of those that I've cut earlier. But you can see how it's sort of coming along. Beautiful.
Really gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. It really, really is.
Fantastic.
And it's been an awesome masterclass. It really has. A couple more pictures to share with you before the end of the show. Michelle Harris has sent this one in to us here. Love that. Used a really big bold die there with some of the
Oh, that
flowers
looks
as well.
pretty, yeah.
Nice, isn't it? Angie Guest sent this one in as well, which is a nice, interesting card shape, that one.
Oh, look at that. That's different.
It is. And Kate Henderson sent these ones in to us. Love the colourways there, Kate. I think
Beautiful.
they're awesome. Really
Yep.
lovely.
They really do look stunning. They're quite a showpiece, aren't they?
They really are, yeah. Rose sent these ones in to us as well. Rose Housel.
Again,
really
lovely.
beautiful. Oh,
Yep.
Nancy's had a great idea as well. How about using them on boxes, which is a brilliant way to use them
Oh,
on your
with the
exploding
pop-up
boxes.
boxes,
And we've
yeah.
got some boxes coming up, haven't we?
We
A little
have
bit later
on, yes.
in the show, yeah.
Yes, that's a lovely way of using them. I've not
Awesome.
thought of that.
Coletta says, me too, Joe. I like silence when reading. I have a meditation playlist that I listen to whilst I sew. Keeps me calm. Sewing can be a challenge. Now, remember everything you've seen in this show. It's been really, really busy. I'm so glad that you guys have loved everything we've had for you. So remember what you're getting in that collection. Let me just whiz through everything that you have in here again for you. So you're going to get, of course, the foliage is coming to you in here, which is awesome. And then what we can see here as well, this is your holly leaves. I don't know why I lost the ability to pronounce the word holly there for a moment. Ivy we've got in here for you as well. This one here is your poinsettia. We've also got the autumn leaves in here. You've got Christmas rose, and you're going to receive, of course, the pine cones as well. Remember, you're also getting the stamens and you're getting the flower forming foam in that collection as well. Great price for this here for you. Great saving as well. Club Inspire Platinum members get to £40 today. If you're in the UK, $52.80 if you're in the US. Someone asked to see the unicorn again, so I thought I'd share it with you. It is absolutely gorgeous. It was Jane Gundry that made this for us. How awesome is that? And that is a glass bauble. These little eyes, I'm guessing these are like vinyl, these little eyes. Got a little horn on the top of there as well, which has been popped on. The poinsettias, and then these ears are actually made from the flower forming foam, which is absolutely awesome. I think it's really, really gorgeous. Now, remember, that is not the only show of the day. We're going to be back in an hour's time, aren't we, Jan?
We certainly are. We need to sort of reset, have a quick drink, and we'll be back again at 4 o'clock, won't we?
Absolutely.
See you then.
We will. So you'll see Jan in an hour. I'll be here in an hour. I hope you guys will join us as well, because Second Chance Sunday is that one chance where we get to look at everything you've seen over the last couple of weeks, bring back some awesome deals, and share some awesome inspiration with you as well. So I'll see you guys back here in an hour's time. Take care.